Hey guys, just wanted to show a full breakdown of the new Ultratech ZBT. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking this apart. You can see I've installed the aftermarket tritium button in here. This is going to be the same as all the Cypher 2 buttons, but it is completely different mechanism inside. It's got the zero blade play, which is fully adjustable. Full disclosure, I guess mine came from the factory with a really small amount of blade play in the open position. You could only really feel it from the very tip of the knife, wobbling it around like that, and it was super minimal, and you could only feel it probably 1 out of every 15 or 20 times that you were torquing it as hard as you could. But there was a little bit, so I did take it apart and fully adjust it and get rid of that per the Microtech instruction videos. So anyway, we've got the top of the knife off now. You want to be careful taking the button out, because there is a spring underneath, and you don't want that spring to go flying away. Very tough to find if you ever lose it. So we are going to go ahead and take the spring tray off. So we've got that, good to go there. And then, unlike most of the other OTFs, you're going to need to remove the clip and the glass breaker in order to fully disassemble and get the blade out of this knife, or at least to adjust the zero blade play mechanism. So you can see all of that fully comes apart right there, and this is kind of what we're left with. It's just the normal chassis body of the knife. You can see pointing right down in there, I'll try and get it to focus, there's a little flathead screw in there. So if you can see that, that is what we have to unscrew to adjust. So I'm using a 1.4 millimeter flathead. You could definitely get away with a little bit bigger. This is just what I had on hand that works. And keep in mind that they're using Loctite on these from the factory, so it's going to be a little hard, but you do need to take this screw and back it out a couple turns in order to adjust this here, and that's going to allow you to adjust the mechanism. Definitely don't try and move this little pivot cone before backing off the flathead screw, because you're just going to be fighting up against the mechanism, and it's not going to go well. You could strip it, you could damage it. You don't want to be in that situation. To unscrew this, you do need to be locked all the way into the closed position. You can see that there's barely enough clearance to kind of take this cone up and down, so you're just going to want to make sure you're there. And I will go ahead and just drop that part. Give me 1 second, I'm going to have to find it. Alright, back to our regularly scheduled programming. I just lost the little flathead screw that goes in the bottom here. So we're going to take this and back this out just so I can show you guys entirely. You don't need to take it all the way out for your normal adjustments, but I wanted to see how it worked and do a full disassembly, so that's what we're doing. Once you have that out, you can open this little gate manually, and this blade will fully come out, and then you can kind of see what we're working with here. So it's threaded on the inside for that cone to sit in. You can see that this is a through hole that's also threaded, and that's where the little flathead screw with the dimple ball head goes. And then this is kind of the full mechanism behind everything. And then you can see in the bottom the little track that this index is into. So this sliding up and down in here gets cammed into place. It's very similar to the way the deadlock works, and it's just a little bit different because it's embedded into the body instead of being kind of a separate tray in there. But as far as the adjustment goes, we're going to drop this back into place, open that front gate, and slide it all the way back. And then we are going to take this guy and just screw it in a little bit just to get it indexed. And then just to start with that, I'm about flush with the blade, which is where I want to be. And I'm going to take this little screw and drop it right in to the track. Could probably do this before instead of doing it this way, which is what I should do, especially since I just lost it like 10 seconds ago, but I'm already here, so And then we're just going to take it and adjust it a little bit in. And you can kind of see it start to pop up visibly in the hole right there. So you just want to back it out until it's not so visible. Still going to be locked in place, but it's not going to be actively retaining the little locking dimples on this adjustment feature. So that is what we want for right now. The way Microtech tells you to do this is to kind of throw the blade forward, get it to lock up, and then check for adjustment. That's definitely a valid way to do it. I think you want to get it in the right zone first, not waste a bunch of your time. So I'm just kind of doing this little by little, get it kind of close to where I want it. So you can see how it's not opening just when I pull it forward right now. But if I throw it forward, you can see right now, it's kind of fully open. So I definitely don't want it locked that tight or locked that loose. So we're going to go a little bit tighter, which is going to be in that direction. So we're going to go clockwise, and then we're just going to kind of iterate that tooth by tooth. So you can see I threw it forward and did it loosely and it hardly locked up. Do it a little bit harder and it locks up about halfway. So I'm going to go probably one more tooth, just a little bit, throw it forward again, and you can see I'm getting about 50%, maybe a little bit over that of lockup. So I would say that's about good for me, and this is always something you can go back and tune. So if you need to, you can go a tooth forward, you can go a tooth back. It's really just going to depend. So you're going to want to tighten that little set screw in, give this guy a little wobble back and forth, make sure you're fully seated in one of the dimples, and then just give it a final little tighten. Not going super tight or anything, you just want to make sure that you're actively locked into place. So this looks good to me right here. We can take it like that, throw the blade forward. You can see I'm not fully locking out, so I'm gonna have zero blade play side to side, back and forth in every direction, which you can see right now. And I think that degree of lockout that I'm showing you is more than enough to keep the blade engaged and locked. I'm not going to be puncturing this into anything, and if I find that it's failing to deploy, failing to lock out, I can always go back and adjust this and change it if I must. So next step, we're going to go ahead and stick the button back on. So careful with the button and the spring, but we're going to, well, technically I should put the spring tray in first, I guess. So I'm going to do this kind of out of order, but we're going to take it, drop it in place, and then that's all paired up, sliding as a unit, which is good. Then take this, close it all up, and everything's sliding free, which is good. And we're going to do the body screws right now because I don't have any of the glass breaker parts installed, and we'll do that last for the glass breaker and the clip. Just so this way I can make sure everything fires, I can tune it again if I need to, instead of wasting the time on the glass breaker screw, messing with that, because I want to make sure that this actually locks out. Making sure, being careful not to cross thread anything when we're going in. So we are good here, good here, good here. And then this is all we need to successfully open and close the knife. So what we're going to do is take it and tap it straight down like this, and that's going to lock the blade in the closed position. You can hear it lock up, hopefully. There we go. So you can see we've got tension on the blade again. Take it, deploy, and you can see that we have zero blade play right here. Pushing down in on it, it's not failing, it's not that locking tab is holding everything out, so I think I'm comfortable with that. And then we're just going to take this block right here for the glass breaker, slide it in place. Now take the shorter of the two screws, and that's going to go on your show side, or your non-clip side, I guess is the correct terminology. Take it and use your T30, lock that into place, so we're good here. And then we're gonna take the clip, hold the clip in place, drop this in, and then we're just going to screw that in until it's tight. I think the torque spec for this is 25 inch-pounds, so if you've got a torque wrench handy, go ahead. It's probably less important on the Ultratech than it is on the Luminary, since you've got a couple backup retaining features and it's not the sole thing holding the knife together. So there we go, fully assembled again. We can open up and you can see still zero blade play here, nothing in any direction. Opens and closes reliably and nice and smooth with the dual fuel drivetrain. So that is it.